In a world full of distractions, there is one big question on every dog owner's lips.
How do I become more than just the person holding the other end of the leash?
We all get dogs with a dream in mind, a vision of the future. And if right now your everyday reality isn't quite that picture you had in mind, you are in the right place.
It really doesn't have to be this way.
You absolutely can and will be more to your dog than just the person who gets in between them and the world.
The key is you need to be more sexy.
More sexy than the neighbourhood cat.
More sexy than the jogger in the park.
More sexy than that half-eaten hamburger they just found on the floor.
And yes, even more sexy than the dog across the road.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Lauren.
Together we're Absolute Dogs.
And you're listening to the Sexier Than a Squirrel podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Sexier Than a Squirrel podcast, the podcast that teaches you how to unlock your dog owning dream. And that's actually exactly what we're talking about today, because a big part of your dog owning dream will be stress-free walks.
Now, when I get out walking my dogs, one of the most beautiful things is actually having a dog who's nice on lead and who you feel that you don't have that sort of argumentative conversation with before you even started.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that we get asked, I think probably time and time again, we couldn't even pick one person because there are just too many requests. What do I do about my dog on lead? This is painful.
And I think the thing is that often when your dog's behavior isn't ideal on lead, you can often be in a rush to get them off lead. It's like, right, get them to the location where we can get them off lead as quickly as possible because it's painful to see this happening on the end of the lead. And then you let them off and they don't necessarily come back when called. They're going far rather than staying close. And that's because something that we're really, really passionate about is that on-leash freedom unlocks off-leash freedom. You get your freedom and your dream with your dog on leash, and that's going to either achieve or certainly get you 90% there to your off-leash freedom and your dog behaving great off-leash.
Now, I think that one of the biggest things we've got to consider here is actually that so many people have rehearsed this badly for so long. And I think what we're about to tell you is that really you can change all of this, right, Tom?
Absolutely. And you may notice that we use lead and leash interchangeably. Yes, we see your Facebook comments, and yes, we know who you are. No, just kidding. But that's because we're just so used to saying both, and make sure to focus on the value that we're going to deliver here rather than the words that we are using. Just a little caveat, because I know that's going to be an email.
You just know. You know it's coming. Save the team.
So yeah, basically what we've got to think about is actually what are the skills that our dogs need in order to behave well on lead, and actually how can we achieve those? And you know that the way that we can achieve those is through games. You can absolutely transform where you're at right now to that perfect picture of loose leash walking where everybody says, oh my gosh, how did you do that? You get to be the person that gets asked rather than the person asking, which is a nice feeling. And the skills are a few. First of all, calmness, okay? And that's not calmness in the sense of we want our dogs to be like comatose on the end of the lead. It's actually making sure that their brains are actually in their skulls, right? Sometimes what happens is we leave that front door and your dog is in a state of such anticipation that they're like, right, one step leads to the next step, leads to the next step, leads to the park, leads to all these amazing scents, leads to me seeing dogs that I'm slightly excited by and slightly scared by, which is even more arousal, leads to the next step, leads to the next step. And what happens is dogs speed up the process. They're like, right, I know this is the way that this is going to happen.
And they want a shortcut, right? Like they want to take shortcuts. They want to shortcut the process.
They're like, right, let's make this amazing experience happen even faster and even better and even more lively, right? So actually, when we say calmness, it's not that we're looking for our dogs to be bored. It's actually that we're looking for them to be receptive to the moment, their brain being in the moment. And if you can just teach your dog that one skill, actually your loose leash walking will already be so much better.
And I think that it's very, very, very consistent action in this direction. Yeah. Because if I think back to Tokyo's loose lead walking education, I never really taught him loose leash walking or loose lead walking. What I focused on was calmness and a few other building blocks we're going to talk about in a minute. But that was day by day, consistently. And it wasn't me thinking, I'm going to go to the park park for a walk. That was me thinking, this is how I want him to live.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the second skill that you're going to need is a dog that really values proximity.
And proximity, it really is an amazing tool, but it's also quite an easy tool to build. So to give you an example, this morning I was out in the yard, everyone was coming in, most of the guys that are starting here working around at 7:30, 8 o'clock. And I just had one of my dogs tied to my waist effectively, and I was just drip feeding food every now and again. Yeah. So I kind of had my hands free to still direct and talk to people and let people know where they were going or what they were doing or how we were going to start today. But actually, I had my dog sort of in close proximity on a loose leash. Yeah. And so all that time, we're rehearsing proximity without making it a discussion, an argument, a difficult conversation. Yeah. Actually, it's just a little bit of drip feeding close to my side. Now, that is proximity. And a dog who understands proximity will want to hang out there. That's the best space to be.
Absolutely. And the third skill that we want to make sure that you think about and you put in this formula is your dog understanding that when they value something, when they see something over there, they're excited by something or they're scared of something, actually the value is in thinking it's none of your business. The value is in moving away from it. The value is in carrying on and staying within proximity. And this skill is called disengagement. And, you know, dogs can be good or bad at it, and you'll know if you've got one that's bad at it. And also sometimes humans can be bad at it. Sometimes, be honest, we're walking along and we're like, oh my goodness, there's a dog over there. There's a dog over there. Maybe the dog will come near me. Maybe this will happen. Maybe that will happen. Maybe my dog will embarrass me. What is going to happen? Right? And we don't disengage from it as we're walking along because our entire focus has gone to that. It's almost like we're willing it to happen we're like drawing it in by thinking about it. And so actually we both need to practice these things as dog owners. And what we want to do is actually move you to a place where you almost see you see the little wins and the little clues of success in your dog, and you take a bit of a sigh of relief and you start to feel confident as you walk along.
And I think that's the big thing. That sigh of relief is actually your part of the deal.
Yeah.
Because for me, when I first had my naughty but nice dog, late Poppy, she made me feel edgy, or I allowed myself to feel edgy. And so I didn't feel like I had got the situation. Yeah. Whereas these days, whether I'm owning my naughty but nice dog or whether I'm owning my easygoing dog, actually I behave pretty much the same. And that is, I'm Lara Croft, to stick my chest out. I absolutely strut it out. Yeah. And I've got this. This is not yours to worry about. But at the same time, that kind of empowers my loose lead walking. It empowers my whole day with my dog because of that mindset shift and change. Yeah. And you know what? Some days I don't even know if I have got it. I can fake it, and I'll fake it till I make it. And I think your dog does definitely take that that sort of step from you. That deep breath. I've got this. I really do have this. It might not go completely as I planned, but you know what? I have got this. I can handle this. And I think that's important on the other end of a leash.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, an amazing trainer of mine for me and my horse always says, you can't ride the what ifs. And sometimes we go through life riding the what ifs, you know, imagining the what ifs, thinking about the what ifs.
What if he trips here?
What if he stumbles? The what ifs, right? And the reality is that they are what ifs. They're, you know, what if the dog comes over? What if this happens? What if my dog embarrasses me? These things have not happened. So we probably need to do a full body scan, you know, from head to toe, and actually think, well, where am I holding tension here? What am I pulling on the lead? Is it that my dog's not pulling on the lead, but instead I'm the tension in the lead here, right? And in doing that, we become more self-aware, and then we have that moment of thinking, oh my gosh, I do so much wrong. And then we have that next moment of thinking, oh, I can do things differently. And that's totally normal. It's totally normal.
I think it's really important that we acknowledge this in ourselves. And I think it's really important. I mean, here, Tom and I go into a bit of a life coaching session, but actually it's good for life, right? This is not just dog training. So that full body scan can help you when you're going into a difficult situation, or it can help you when you're maybe having, I don't know, a work scenario or a family scenario. Or it's definitely served me really well in lots of different scenarios. Yeah. So that full body scan, yes, it works with like Tom said, his riding. Yes, it works with walking the dog up the lane. Yes, it also works with lots of different family situations or life situations you might come across. So actually, you heard it here, Sex in the Squirrel podcast. We are actually coaching human beings. Yeah, it's actually life coaching at the same time, right, Tom?
Absolutely. And so then you've got to think about, well, how do we transform this struggle? And this is where it kind of gets really exciting, because of course games are going to teach your dog the skill of calmness and please have your brain in your skull. And of course, games are going to teach the skill of proximity. And of course, games are going to teach the skill of disengagement. But these games also become tools that you can use in certain moments. So when you're, riding a what if and you're thinking, what if the dog over there that comes towards us? Well, you could actually say, well, you know what? It's less likely the dog will come towards us and want to interact with us if my dog is really obviously employed and engaged. So maybe I can play a bit of middle here and just be really calm and lower my energy and head in a different direction. Then we're actually being we've been kind of being like the captain of our walking ship here. We're leading this. We're creating this experience, but you've got to have the tools. Now, on the subject of the games and tools and transforming your struggle into a strength, we actually have something really exciting to tell you about. Are you going to
tell everybody?
I think we can tell you.
I bet you guys. Well, I think we need a bit of a moment of excitement here, because this is something. This is something that you're going to go crazy about.
Yeah, and
you really are.
What we've done is we thought, well, what would be the core things, the core games and tools, and probably the learning that you need as well thrown in there, that will transform your dog's leash walking behavior.
What value would you like to get from this?
Yeah.
What are we get the real life results, but what's going to allow you to create that? A bit like baking a cake. If you put in the wrong ingredients, it's just not going to happen. You put in the right ingredients and actually it's a done deal. And it's going to happen.
There is nothing better than being told what to do when you have a problem, right? There is nothing better than being like, oh my God, day-to-day firefighting. This is not fun. This is not why I got a dog. And somebody pops up in the form of a podcast and says, do this, and you go, oh, okay, yes,
easy,
yes,
I've
got this. And so we know that this is a really common struggle. It's one of the most commonly asked for, I guess, transformation plans that you ask for, and that is stopping pulling on lead. And so what we've done is we've created effectively a mini course, a program that you can work through that tells you the games and strategies, and you work through it day by day. And it, when I say day by day, this is going to be like over 10, 12, 14 days that you're going to work through the various games and strategies that we're going to share with you. And what we want you to see are the clues of transformation. And we want you to also see the wins. We want you to see that your dog is actually loose leash walking and the dog owning dream is feeling a little bit more like a reality.
It's going to happen for you.
Yeah.
This is you. This is you and your dog. This is real. We're not talking hypothetically here. We're talking about you.
Now, we created this program, and you're probably all thinking, oh my goodness, this sounds amazing. It's a brand new program. And it's, it's like a whistle-stop boot camp. It's super short so that you effectively get everything you need and you get to start seeing wins.
Life is busy. Yeah. Life is pressured. Life is fast-paced. Life is busier all the time. This is your moment with your dog and your presence with your dog, but in a really, like Tom said, whistle-stop way, so that actually it makes it very, very bite-sized, achievable, so we know it'll fit into the busy hustle bustle that is today.
And you can do it anywhere in the world. Like you can do it right now. You could
New Zealand, Singapore,
transforming this today.
Australia, in the UK with us, or you may be somewhere super hot. You know what we're saying is you can do this with your dog in your home, in your garden, in your life, in your time frame. Yeah. You don't need to go anywhere.
Yeah. And so we've got a couple of bits of good news, okay? The first bit of good news is that this sounds amazing. It's why you got a dog. You want to achieve it. You want this win. How do you get involved? Well, actually, you can get involved. First of all, today, we're going to release this right now that you can jump into it. And secondly, it only costs £27.
Just £27. Now, Tom, for £27, like, you get to keep this for good.
You get to keep it for life. As soon as you jump in, we send you the login. That gives you access to all of the lessons that you can work through. You can work through them day by day. You can watch them all today and then put together a bit of a plan.
No, like time lapse on this. Like if you don't do it within this next month, you still get to keep it next month.
Absolutely.
And the month after.
Yeah.
And next year.
Yeah, and for your next dog and the dog after that and the dog after that.
Goodness.
All for £27, right? So that's the first bit of good news. It's released today and it's just £27.
We're full of the good news.
Second bit of good news is Are you a Training Academy student? Are you listening as a Training Academy student?
Oh, they're there. I can see them.
Yeah, we hear you. And the good news is that we've effectively released a new feature within Training Academy, and that is that there is now a mini course section of the Training Academy. Effectively, what we're going to do is there are more coming soon. Watch this space. These are going to be step by step how to transform the most common dog owning struggles. So that'd be pulling on lead, barking, reactivity, whatever. It's going to be a special section of the Training Academy, and you can think of it a little bit like, you know, that TV show where you say, actually, I'm not just going to watch random episodes of things. I'm not just going to kind of watch different random games.
Sets.
I want to watch a tailor-made, structured step-by-step of games.
Oh, nice.
That's what the mini courses are. And so as a Training Academy member, you're actually going to get the Stop Pulling on Lead mini course as part of being a Training Academy member.
So basically what we're saying to you, if you are a Training Academy member, you do not need to buy this.
Yeah.
This is included within your Training Academy subscription.
And if you are not a Training Academy member yet, well, good news, you can get involved in the program just the same today, and it's only £27. Now, you're wondering, how do you do this? Well, the way that you get involved is you grab a web browser right now, whether that be on your phone, your iPad, your computer, just open a web browser, and you're going to go to this web address. It is Absolute Dogs, all one word, absolutedogs.me, that's M-E, absolutedogs.me/stop pulling. absolutedogs.me/stop pulling, and you can jump in right now. We'll send you the login details immediately. You get to understand the learning. You get to learn how to transform this, and then you get to go do it. You get to watch the videos, play the games, unlock the real life results.
Oh my goodness. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's so cool. It is so cool.
£27 if you are not a Training Academy member, literally to keep all of that.
Yeah. So with that, guys, head to your nearest computer, absolutedogs.me/stop pulling. Get involved, jump in.
If you have any friends who might like to be involved too, now is the time to
Yeah.
share it. This is the time to do it. It's going to be a hive of activity. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now's the time to share it with any of your dog owning friends, family, lovers, long lost lovers, brothers, sisters. You know what? It's a good time to share.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, guys, head over there. We want to hear the results that you achieve. We want to see your dogs loose leash walking. This is what makes us bounce out of bed. We'll see you in the next episode of the Sexier Than a Squirrel podcast. And remember,
Stay sexy.
Stop right there, game changer. We have something very exciting to tell you about if you struggle with stressful walks right now.
So pulling, your dog yanking your arm out of its socket, just basically it's painful, right?
Now, it's a struggle that you want to transform. You want to go from pulling on lead like a train to loose leash walking prince or princess, and we've got a solution for you.
It is just £27. It's a mini course that literally is going to be your zero to hero of loose leash walking.
Day by day, we're going to be showing you the games and skills and strategies that you are going to need to implement to transform your dog's leash behavior in the next 2 weeks.
This is a complete package. You get to keep it for life. Yes, for life. And it's just £27 to you.
Access it anywhere, keep it for life, no equipment required, and all you've got to do is go to absolutedogs.me/stop pulling. And yes, it is just £27, game changers.